سلام بچه‌ها، من دایالی هستم. به کانال من خوش اومدید. قراره که با هم دیگه معرفی سیزن جدید ببینیم که چه غلطی قراره بکنم. بالاخره یه آنتی چیت درست درمون میدن یا نه. اپراتور اینا که دیگه طبیعی شده. مپم که اگه بدن نمیتونیم بازی کنیم، اگه بهم بدن بریم ببینیم سیزن جدید بروتال سوام. ببینیم که چه سیزنی. من که بهشون استعدادش میذارم سیزن زنبورداران و اپراتور جدید به نام گریم. بریم ببینیم که چی در انتظارمونه. Let's go. خب ببینیم که قراره چه غلطی کنن. بالاخره کل چت همه دارن می‌نویسن آنتی چیت.
I'm Camille Salazar-Hadaway, and today we're talking Night Haven. There's always been some tension between them and Team Rainbow, and this season, a new operator is joining their ranks. What's their deal? Creative Director Alexander Karpazis is here to enlighten us and to share more on.
دارم میگه اومدیم یه گوه دیگه به بازی بزنیم. یک بار دیگه با یه اپراتور دیگه. حاج زنبور اصل.
Season 3 Operation Brutal Swarm is a huge season for us.
گوه خوردی.
گوه
خوردی. هر سیزن میاد میگه this is a huge season for us.
And so there's some big stuff coming. We have Grim, who's a new operator from Singapore, who's joining Night Haven, who's a fantastic, aggressive intel gatherer. And we also have an additional map coming to the mix that we hadn't planned on before, and it's a nice surprise for our community. And we have some interesting updates that are really important to us too, such as the reputation system, the next phase of it coming online.
ساتو.
This season focuses
الان مثلا مپ جدید داده چرا باید بازی کنیم؟ اصلا ما میتونیم مپ جدید بازی کنیم.
It's officially split off from the Rainbow Six.
سلام خوش اومدید.
We see Grim joining the squad now, and we'll get even more information about what the squad is up to at the launch of the season.
نمیذارم مردم بازی
We've
کنیم
already
ببرم.
communicated with the community about changes that are happening to the roadmap. We saw our map from Season 3 slip to Season 4, but we also wanted to create some surprises as well, which is an additional map that you all know and love already. We also wanted to highlight some of the changes that we're making to the reputation system. We're introducing some features today.
رنگ دو رو بردن سیزن بعد.
Set up new changes for.
اکبر سرتون.
Now that you've heard more about what's coming, it's time to see it in action. Here's a teaser of Operation Brutal Swarm gameplay from our friend Chris Waters and the Ubisoft News team.
وای مرسی که برامون تیزرش آماده کردین. آها خب اینجا میان اینجا زنبورا میریزن داخل. نه کاجی یعنی این با این چیه؟
For any defenders who like to stay undetected as Operation Brutal Swarm brings a new intel gathering operator.
مرسی که لایک شدی ستونی.
Distance with bees. Micro air vehicles technically, but once you're in the swarm and getting pinged,
آجی زنبورا رو ناموسن پشمام.
problems to deal with. Operation Brutal Swarm is also introducing the Stadium map into the competitive pool, as well as updating the recoil system and making.
خب بچه‌ها مثل اینکه مپ جدید خب مپ استادیوم قراره بیاد تو رنگ. همه بهم میدن. gadget دو.
Operation Brutal Swarm, and your deeper look at it all continues now.
Grim joins the attackers with a high-tech gadget that can shake up the defenders' positions. Our game designer, Matthew Lacombe, is here to give you more intel about it, but first, we're going to dive into the design and development of Grim with concept artist Sunshine Kim and director of gameplay design, Jeremy Cavan.
شوخی میکنی.
Our character concept artist NJ Tutai, who worked on iconic scenes
این طراحی کرده. این زنبورا رو این طراحی کرده.
has brought us another amazing design for our newest operator Grim. This one was an interesting assignment for us because Grim is a very traditional grounded soldier who might not be seen as a member of Night Haven at first sight. We see this traditional soldier like Grim standing among all these colorful operators, which creates this interesting dynamic. And Grim's supposed to be a little bit outcast, and he needs to stand out a little bit. So it creates an interesting.
شبیه مرد رویاش خودش درست یارو درست کرده.
نمیدی؟ Kali trust this guy. It was really fun to explore this character and the designs based on this dynamic. We wanted his design to really reflect the history of Grimm's life. The countless battles and missions that
دماغش هم حتما با شکسته باشه. فیتیش دماغ شکسته هم داره.
To really capture that history of
حتما اون چسب زخم باید باشه.
What I personally really like about Grimm is that he's a big, giant, buffed guy that
منظور از این که مبنو بردن چیه چجوری مبنو انتخاب شده شانسی رندوم میفته.
So to create Grimm's device, there is something that we always wanted to add into Rainbow Six, and these are microtech gadgets. We thought that there was a very rich fantasy that could lead to
آره خیلی فانتزی خفنیه داداش. این چی آجی؟
Grimm's gadget is made of a few parts. The tracking device is a microtech bot. We call it B-bot. It can fly in the air. It's battery powered and it can last for a couple of seconds. In idle position, this bot is plugged into a bulletproof electronic canister. And when this canister lands on a valid position, the swarm spreads out of it. This canister is protected by a projectile that can open when it's stuck on a valid surface. And finally, we wanted to play with the mix between low-tech and high-tech to create a unique identity for this operator. And that's why we gave him this over-the-shoulder classic launcher that he used to throw the projectile. We really like the feeling when you are inside the swarm. We really love this feeling and we are thrilled to present that to our player today.
میگه خار مغزتو میگن میرن تو گوشات میرن تو سوراخات مغزتو میگن.
Kind of launcher. You equip it similar to what you would do with Ash or Zofia. It shoots a projectile that will travel in a straight line. It will stick to the surface it's shot at. Once it sticks to a surface, it will release a canister. If it's on the floor, it will just open. The effect will take place there. If it's stuck on the
این چیز کسشره. خب واقعا چیز کسشریه.
So the effect will be generated from this canister. The effect itself is a swarm of bots, really a cloud of robotic bees. They reveal any defenders that would be inside the swarm. They will be tracked in live action, so the red mark will follow them as they move around. And last part is
میدونی چی میگه؟ میگه مثلا علی بای نیستش که تگ کنه خب تگ قرمز همه جا با اینا هست فهمیدی؟ میگه تگ قرمز همه جا با اینی که این زنبوره بهش میچسبن میره در حرکت تگ قرمز میشه لایو چیز لایو مارکه.
We have the 5.52 commando as a primary assault rifle. You know how reliable, how good it is. But we also have the shotgun, the SG CQB as another.
بنازم شاتگان داگ داره بن داکا میریم تو کون دشمن و بوم بوم بوم.
If you remember, but for this time it's the first named operator that we have. In the secondary weapon, we have for the secondary gadgets, we have the breach charge. It adds a layer of verticality to Grimm. You can place the breach charge on the floor, shoot the gadget through the bars, so you're now funneling the defenders from the top floor. It really adds another layer to this gadget. Or you can go with the claymore. It's really a natural progression with this gadget. You shoot it in the doorway, there's no one in there because you don't have any marks or there's no one, you don't hear anyone. You can go place a claymore now, like you secured something. So it's really like a natural progression of the gadget. Grimm's role is part entry. You want him inside the building. To hunt down roamers. You have to 3 speeds, so you're as quick as them.
تیری اسپیده حاجی تیری اسپیده شاتگان داگ با تیری اسپید یو علی تمام.
You shoot this in a doorway, the defenders cannot go in there. Like you know they won't cross this door, and if they do, everyone on the team will be alerted. We want to have an attacker that is about aggression. We've had operators that were planning heavy, you had to think about what you were doing, but Grimm's is a bit more on the instinct. You have this launcher that denies some area, you have the assault rifle to take areas, so it's really, you're bringing the fight to them. Grimm's gadget always succeeds. So if you hit someone, you will have the red mark, everyone on the team will know that there's something going on.
میگه همیشه دست بالا رو داری با گریم.
Operators like Nomad, Gridlock, they really
نگاه کن نگاه مارک قرمزش همینجوری باهاش میاد اصلا این نرف میشه من اینجوری میمونه
contesting this with Grim would be difficult. You can ask Sense or have a smoke grenade to block the line of sight so you can have the launcher.
اینو همینجوری پرتاب میکنه.
When you know the opposing team has a lot of roamers, caveras, bandits, vigil, you can ask the help from Jackal. He can track them down with with their footsteps. So if they move, they leave footsteps. If they move, they might get caught inside Grim Swarms. So it's really a tag team to get around.
یه چیزش خوبه.
Also, you have Lion. Lion really creates this.
یه چیزش خوبه.
You have this swarm that is creating on you, but Lion is going off. Do I move? Do I not move?
یا علی آجی بازی به گو کشیده میشه. به قرآن به گو کشیده میشه. یعنی گاییده میشه که. میدونی یه چیزش خیلی خوبه اینکه مثلا بذار ناکو الان داره زدشو میگه میوت زدشه خب
it won't release the swarm at all. So you will have to take care of the mute jammer first before having the effect. If you are standing in the radius of a mute jammer and there's a swarm around you, you won't be revealed. If you're affected by the debuff or the DK and you run inside the radius of a mute jammer, you will be cleansed. You can think of it similar to the
او میگه که اگه اینا گرفتنه بری تو میو جمر اوکی میشه همیشه
can be caught by Wamai, Aruni.
با وامای میگیردش
Obviously Wamai is the
ولی وامای بگیره چیز میشه وامای بگیره دوباره باز میشه
If the canister hits electricity, be it in a barbed wire or on a wall, it will get destroyed. The way we design
ولی اگر بگیره باز نمیشه.
There's a lot of specific timings. You can hear the shot. You will hear it stick. You will hear the canister opening.
اینه کجا انده از زیر
There's a lot of timings that you will learn as you play against Grim, and each one of those is a warning that something is happening. So you have, as a player, the choice of running or fighting. Grim is a really aggressive attacker. We have the 3 speed, we have the good assault rifle, we have all of the tools to give you an attacker that is really in the face of defenders. So really an aggressive attacker.
At the launch of the last season, Operation Vector Glare, we let you know that the new map originally planned for this season would be delayed to next season. In the meantime, we've got a little surprise for you.
وای برام سورپرایز دارن.
From the Road to SI event is entering the map pool. Don't ban it. Don't do it. Don't ban it. More on that later.
انقدر ملت انشو در آوردن که خب یاره خودش هم دیگه داره به شوخی هم میگه ما این مپ جدید آوردیم استادیوم بنش نکنید بذارید بازی کنن مردم بنش نکنید قضیه رو در آوردن همه خب انشو در آوردن
So the stadium maps are usually only available during the Road to SI event, but it was kind of a missed opportunity to have them only available a couple of weeks while they are full-blown maps. So while internally we always had a lot of fun playing, we needed a little bit of outside feedback to be sure that it was ready to be brought to the ranked pool. So we asked a couple of pros to workshop and talked with us, and they had a lot of positive feedback about the map. That's pretty much it. We did a couple of tweaks here and there. We brought up the lighting so it's less dark, distributed the spawns so they're equally distributed, and finally we added the game modes, the team deathmatch and the PvE elements. We are very excited to bring you this map as a ranked map or even a casual. It will be available on all players, mainly because it is a familiar yet different feeling, because it's two maps that are merged together, something that our players know, but also there are some flavorful elements like the bulletproof glass, the fact that they are merged together. So it will bring a lot of exciting gameplay from our players. It's always fun to spawn from the gantry, going down toward the map itself. It's a
مپی که دور شیشه هست دوباره تو رنگ خب همه چی از بیرون دیده میشه. حله.
The team is always working on player behavior features. It's important.
وای این برای منه. وقتی میگه تیم کیل کرده اینا مجازات. این قسمت خیلی جذاب برای منه.
As well as a long-awaited feature, the ability to report cheaters during match replay.
وای مرسی که ریپورت چیترها رو در حین مچ ریپلی آن کردید و مرسی.
Last season we introduced
reputation.
به قرآن حالا نکنین الان چت باز نیست خب چت مسابقات
With the new
چت رو
season,
باز
we will be
کنم
adding a new penalty
همه دارن
for
می‌نویسن این
this
آنتی
text
چیت
chat. So the people
نگو لو همه نوشتن
abusing
لوز
the
همه تو
chat
چت اسپم
by
آنتی چیت
sending
میدادن
hateful and abusive content will be detected. They will be reported by users.
You are muted.
And repeated offenders will be under this new penalty. When the sanction will be triggered on the player, the penalty will occur on several matches. So the person that will be under this penalty will still be able to send text messages.
او بد میگه
Only
تو
the
شما الان
people
بنید
that
از
choose
چت
to unmute him will be able to see those messages. It's really key that we give player choice to unmute somebody that is under this sanction. When the system will be released, there will be a grace period. During this grace period, only warnings will be triggered, no
همین
sanctions.
چی گفت
After this
مثلا
grace period, repeated offender will be under this penalty. The goal will be to remove and reduce the amount of hateful and abusive content that you are receiving.
خوردی تو
through
پدردم
the
نمیدونه
text
این
chat.
کامیونیتی
We want
درست
to
کنه
create
الان واسه ما
a
چیز کنه
positive
میگه
environment
میدونی میگه
for
چی
everybody.
میگه که هم اونی که مثلا چیزه اونی که مثلا بند شده خب مثلا چتش بند شده یا صداش بند شده بهش میگه بعد کسایی که مثلا اونی که بخواد مثلا کسی بخواد چتشو ببینه یا صداشو بشنوه میتونه آمیوتش کنه فهمیدی یعنی برای همه آمیوت دیفالت است کسی بخواد صداشو بشنوه آمیوتش میکنه
In season 3, we will be including reporting options. We totally understand that during a live match, you are not sometimes able to report a player. Sometimes the player disconnected, so there is many scenarios. By adding those options to the match replay, you will be able to take the time to review the whole gameplay and report this person. Reporting
چه آهنگ
is very
هیجانی هم
important
گذاشت
and key
شما
for
میتونید
us.
توی مچ
While
ریپلی
receiving the reporting,
شما میتونید
we
توی
will be
مچ
able
ریپلی
to investigate
ریپورت کنی
and take
پلیرها رو
actions,
مادرشون رو
which will
بگایید
greatly
و
help us to improve our
سریع ما
system,
چیترها رو
but also
میشناسیم
to
و
better
بنشون
act
نمی
on
کنیم
those
چون
cheaters
آنتی چیت
and
نداریم
distribute the right sanction at the right moment. Your voice is really important. It is key for us. So please continue and use those reporting tools. This new addition to the game will be available on all platforms, PC and console for everybody. The team put a lot of effort toward all of this new feature. For the future, I'm really excited about what we will be building. Reputation system and commendation system. I hope you will enjoy all content.
Balancing will have an important role in Operation Brutal Swarm. We're evolving the way we handle weapon recoil, which means the attachments you select will now have a bigger impact. Plus, some of your favorite operators will be getting a new secondary gadget option, the Impact EMP Grenade. On top of that, there's exciting news for Rook and Dokivi. Welcome back Alexander Karpazis and Javier Sabarigo from the balancing team to tell you more.
بچه خوار مادر بازی این دو نفر گاییدن نه این دو نفر خوار بازی گاییدن
So in Brutal
یکی این
Swarm,
یکی
this
دیگه
is our season of balance.
بالانس میکنن
We're taking a good hard look at our weapon handling and
میگه
recoil
ما
system.
میخوایم ریکویلا رو
These are
عوض
scary
کنیم
topics to
میخوام
talk about, but
مادر
they're very important for our
کل
game.
رینبو رو بگاییم
One of the biggest changes we're making is separating the balancing between the PC world and the console world. Console will now be tuned separately than any other changes that we're doing on PC right now. And that's to make sure that we have player comfort in mind for all of the changes that we do want to make for console. That means all of the other changes we're talking about today only affect PC. We're making some changes to the recoil system. What we're looking at with vertical recoil is a stepping ladder of phases for these weapons. For ARs and SMGs, you'll see there's 3 phases, and at each phase, you'll get an increase in recoil. For LMGs, this is even stronger, especially for LMGs on high-capacity magazine weapons. Here, with the horizontal recoil, you can see that the changes aren't as drastic. However, it goes by the same philosophy. The longer that you hold down the trigger, the more horizontal sway that you'll get with any AR, SMG, and LMG.
recoil راجی
We
به
are
گاه
now
رفته.
making sure that burst fire is the favored way to approach any kind of one-on-one interaction. We
یا حضرت
looked at
عباس.
sustained fire, and it has a lot of randomness
خوبه
that
داداش،
doesn't answer
خوبه.
to what the core of Siege is, which is tactical gunplay. So the big differences here is the longer you pull down the trigger, the
اینش
more
خوب شده،
you'll
LMGش
have
خیلی خوب
in
شده.
We always want to
زیاد
encourage
کردن. مثلا خب مردم
holding the correct
یارو
angle
LMG
and
میگیره
crosshair
دست میومد تو هم تیر رو میگیره رو هم
over
میمردن.
holding
بابا
down the
سیکش
trigger
تیر دادن بازی
and
بلدی
spraying and
گوز.
And that's why these changes are focusing on burst fire, making sure that you make a decisive shot and you hit it, so that we don't reward luck as much as we reward skill in the game. Another reason why this is a big change for us is the idea of bringing customization and the tools to players to make the decisions they want to make when it comes to their loadout.
بنازم کاستومایزیشن جدید.
Customization and attachments this season.
اتچمنت
Has big
جدید.
changes. If you want to deal with recoil, we give you new options. Muzzle brake and flash hiders are coming to all of these weapon families. We're also bringing more grips, angled
گریپ های
reversals,
جدید،
and more scopes
انگل گریپ
than
های
ever before.
جدید،
That means
سوپر
that you can
اسکوپ های
build your
جدید.
loadout the way that you want to play, and it means that you're not stuck with a meta weapon. The other thing we're looking at too is making sure that every piece of customization is meaningful, that you actually have real choice between them all. Silencers now will be available without the damage debuff, making it that much more interesting to play with. With all of these new changes, we have a new ecosystem of weapons for players to play with. You can figure out what works for you, and it gives new freedom to how you want to play the game, and it also focuses on the tactical gameplay that we have in Siege. One of the positive impacts
امروز یادتون باشه دد یارو میاد میگه اسکوپ های جدید میتونید استفاده کنید برای اینکه کنترل کنید. دستتون رو باز کردیم که گریپ های جدید بذارید، اسکوپ های جدید بذارید، برل های جدید بذارید. بعد حالا چی بوده؟ مثلا گانایی که مازل برگ نداشتن مازل برگ آوردن، گانایی که سوپرسور نداشتن سوپرسور آوردن، گانایی که انگل نداشتن انگل آوردن. خاک بر سرت بابا، چیز جدید بیارید. خداحافظ. این گرفت بالا هستن. خدا نگهدار.
These are subtle changes that are changing the way that we can introduce new attachments and new ways to play the game. And we really do believe that this reinforces what Siege is all about.
As we introduced in the Year 7 season reveal, we were working on the EMP impact grenade. So that's alternative to Thatcher, that it's the only one that can use the EMP grenade. So that's a little bit what
این داره در مورد گجت دوم صحبت می‌کنه جدید اومد بچه‌ها.
And we added the heartbreed secondary gadget.
اینا مخصوص هارد
This
برید
new
شده؟
impact grenade will have a range of 2 meters instead of 5 meters of the Thatcher's one. Also, gadgets and electricity will be disabled during 9 seconds instead of 15. It will work
دیگه تچر اصلا واسه چی بند شد؟ دیگه اصلا نیاز نیست تچر بند شه.
will continue being the main operator to disable it. The operators that will have the EMP impact as the third option are Sledge, Montaigne, Blackbird, Dokaevi, Lion, Gridlock, Knock, Osa, and the Recruit.
داش مانتیج گلا ایمپکت گرینید داره. مانتیج میاد براتون همه کار میکنه. بنازم.
They will work on more situations to win the match, and also they will be able to play Thatcher with his cool loadout. We know that you had a little preview of this feature during the last test server, so we are going to introduce it right now. If the operator falls into DBNO while wearing an armor plate from roof, they will be able to use the withstand ability.
میگه اگه روک بردارن میتونن ریوایو کنن خودشونو. با 20 HP.
is to give more value to the rook's armor plate, which can help us a lot if we fall into DBNO during the round. The Dokaevi logic bomb was not affecting the operators on the support mode, so from now, the dead operators will be affected as the live ones, but the logic bomb cannot be interrupted. With this change, we will be giving more importance to Dokaevi's ability and will be more consistent.
We've got 2 more new features to highlight that are coming this season. A new map ban system and a significant upgrade to the tactical map. From our Barcelona studio, here's game designer Robert Cole to share more details.
مپ بند الان بدون میگم خوبه یا نه. صبر کن قشنگ ببینم بدون میگم خوبه یا نه.
So right now, the way the tactical map works is that it will show the spawn and objective locations. But it's true that it forces players to remember a lot of information. And even if the attackers find the objective, it will not be shown in the tactical map. We're doing a couple of quality of life changes to display the location of the objective once the attackers find it during the preparation phase. The attackers will also be able to see a list of potential objectives by the defense and also an icon next to the locked objectives.
What?
This will help players with their map knowledge and it will also show previously
مثلا نشون میده که اونجا که میخوای اسپان کنن نزدیک ابجکتیو هست یا نه اگه پیداش کردن. اینش خوبه. اینش خوبه.
We have been monitoring the map ban and pick rate as well as the community sentiment regarding map distribution. If we take a look at the data right now, we can see how we have 3 to 4 maps with over 10% of the play rate, as well as maps below the 4% mark. We understand the map ban has room for improvements, and we want to address some of these concerns with these season changes. We're changing the map ban phase to contain 5 maps instead of 3. That way, if both teams decide to ban one map, the final decision will be a random between the 3 remaining maps. Whereas both teams decide to ban the same map, the final decision will be between the 4 remaining maps. In the same case, if both teams decide not to ban the final decision will be a random between the 4. With this change, we aim at increasing map while also maintaining the player agency of ban maps from the pool. We will continue to monitor the situation and the performance of this change. To make any adjustments necessary as part of our community.
حالا ما در جنده بم بدید. بم بدید تا خارتون بگم.
But we also have future plans to tackle the exact problem of new maps being banned.
Before we wrap it up,
حالا
let's
شد.
talk Brutal Swarm Battle Pass. Starting this
در بدترین حالت بین 3 تا مپ رندوم میشه. در بهترین حالت خب مثلا هیچی بند نمیده بین 5 تا رندوم میشه. این درست شد. حالا میتونیم مپ‌های جدید بازی کنیم. حالا بیاید ببینم گوز کدوم کونید.
We're truly excited to bring back one of the perks that was in the year past prior. So we're bringing back the shop discount. So what this means is for that battle pass.
سعی کاکو شنیدم 50000 تومان باختی. خاک بر سرت.
Where you have the battle pass. And for our year pass owners, you will have it up until the end of year 7. This 10% discount will
سیستم رنگ جدید رفت سیزن بعد. خداحافظی. ریدن بابا.
Alpha packs, collection packs, elites or esports items, all of this will be at a 10% reduction. We know that Siege is a game that is best played with your friends. So we want you to be able to also experience the battle pass with one of your friends. So during season 2, we soft launched the buy for a friend feature for the battle pass. We're more confident in the system now, so in season 3 we're deploying it everywhere. So what this means is that for you as a player, you will be able to purchase the battle pass for one of your friends. For the moment, buying the battle pass for one of your friends and gifting it is actually going to be only for the same platform as you. But looking in the future, once we'll be cross-platform.
کلا باید من موافقم هست شه ولی خب خیلی بهتر شد نسبت به الان بهتره.
For buying a battle pass is that you
سلام عرفان جون خوش اومدید. بچه میتونید وارد لینک دونیت شید واسه من وارد ریمید نمیشه.
So maybe we'll look into esports items, elites, but for now we'll gather your feedback on how it performs around the battle pass.
Be sure to share your feedback on R6Fix, and thanks for sticking around to the end for our one more thing. Castle Elite.
Castle Elite! چه تمام چیتا رو زودتر تو بازی دارنش. Brutal Swarm next weeks تست سیزن بعد لایو میشه. خب بچه‌ها دمتون گرم که دیدید. این بود معرفی سیزن جدید. امیدوارم که سیزن خوبی بشه. love you.